Okay, so we have the Year 7 Season 3 leaks right now as they are standing. Some data miner on Twitter posted these leaks, so nothing is actually true yet, but these are actually very high reputable speculations. So if you want to know what's coming into Year 7 Season 3, this is a good place to start. So for starters, Amaru and Glaz are getting an underbright laser sight, so that's pretty cool. Doesn't really do much, honestly. If we look at the SMG-11, though, we're getting an angled grip on the SMG-11. A lot of people can't control that gun, especially on console anyways, so I don't really see the benefit in that. But it does allow for some extra aggressive play on smoke and mute, so I guess that's fine anyways. They did nerf the angled grip, so I don't really understand why they do that, unless they're planning on reverting the angled grip change, which would be awesome, because it kind of sucked, but yeah, they're adding angled grips, and as you see as I scroll down this list, you'll see they're adding a lot of angled grips, so I'd imagine they're reverting the nerf. If not, kind of weird they're just putting it in there, but we'll see. Anyways, Thunderbird getting an angled grip, Blackbeard getting an angled grip, and Flores getting an angled grip as well. Then we have Legion, vertical grip and angled grip, Oryx, same thing, Mira getting an angled grip, and the 417 on Sens getting an angled grip. Okay, kind of weird. Legion with vertical grip is going to be amazing for his T5. Same thing with Oryx. I think vertical grips on their guns are going to be very useful. They don't have much recoil, but for Oryx, the 1.5 does have a little bit of recoil, so for console it might be good. And then angled grip on Oryx will allow for a lot more aggressive gameplay, so I'm a little excited for that. The Vector has a little too much recoil for angled grip, so don't really like that. Same for the 417. Going into all of the other leaks, we have Goyo, Jaeger, Twitch, Doc, Malusi, Glaz, and Ash, all getting angled grips, as well as the TCSG on Goyo getting a 1.5. TCSG is not really useful unless you're on LAN, just because of how DMRs work, so that's really just unfortunate, but Glaz getting a vertical grip, that is fucking cool. He's getting a lot of buffs as of recently, and I just think with the new meta, him being a 3-speed, he's going to be a lot more picked, especially in the lower elo, which kind of excites me. I want to see some new variety, so that's pretty cool. Going even further, they're adding a lot of 1.5s to the game. So Capitao getting a 2x on his AR and getting an angled grip on his LMG. His LMG has the exact same stats as the AR, but the LMG has more ammo. That's literally the only difference. So I would always run the LMG over the AR, but now that the AR has a 2x scope, maybe there's a little bit of versatility that could be had with this loadout. Hibana getting the 2x, kind of like it. Pulse with the 1.5 is going to be so sweet, dude. You have no idea how much a 1.5 can make a difference on a gun, especially like the UMP and an operator on Pulse. I'm going to love the UMP on Pulse with the 1.5. Lion getting the 1.5 on his AR. I like that a lot, as well as the 417 getting an angled grip doesn't mean much, but I like the 1.5 on Lion's AR. As somebody who runs the AR, I don't really like the 2x as much as the 1.5, just personal preference for my aspect ratio. I love this change, so I like that. Osa with the 1.5 on Thermite's gun, that's cool. Amaru with the G8 1.5, that's fucking awesome. But she does the 2x already, so it doesn't really matter that much. Yana with the 1.5 and the G36C is going to make it to where a lot of people are switching off of the ARX to the G36C, so that's pretty cool. Wamai losing his 1.5 on the MP5. So let me explain why this isn't a bad change. It is an anti-fun change, but Wamai is so oppressive and banned so often, not only because of his gadget and his secondary sidearm, as well as the amount of versatility with his secondary gadgets, but he also has a 1.5 on defense. So he really can be played by any sort of player on the spectrum, whether it be support players or flex players for his role as an operator, but also by fraggers with the 1.5. It allows a more aggressive playstyle than the team wants on Wamai. So this is actually not a bad balance change. It's aimed more at the pro level than it is at the casual level, so I do understand it there, but it kind of sucks. I played Wamai a lot for that 1.5, so next we have the Gridlock F90 getting the 1.5 and the angled grip. Love that. Same with the Saw getting an angled grip. Whatever. Cade AUG 3 losing its 1.5, a bit interesting to me. So they're starting to see a lot of overpicked operators in ranked and in pro league. Cade and Wamai were two that were banned and played very heavily, and their solution, instead of tweaking their gadget in any way, is just taking off the 1.5. Now that does leave a lot of versatility to the floor with people that are fraggers playing them, but still, it's not that big of an impact. One of the few things that we looked forward to on Cade was that AUG with the 1.5, and it doesn't have any recoil anyways. It's just like a no fun change at that point. With Wamai, I could understand, but Cade, not so much. TCSG getting a 1.5 though, that's pretty cool, but again, it's TCSG, so whatever. Sledge losing his ACOG, but getting an angle grip. Don't know why they give him an angled grip, but he's losing his ACOG. That to me is insane. So he does still have the 1.5, and I use the 1.5. I don't even use the ACOG, so I can't really complain here, but I know a lot of people who do. And as you see, we go down these tweets, Sledge also gets another nerf that's going to piss y'all off even more. So seeing this 2.5 change is really heartbreaking to me as somebody who plays Sledge a lot in competitive. Zofia getting her 2.5 taken off of her LMG. I do like that. Her LMG has been quite oppressive recently, so taking away a bit of range is cool. Most people do run the 1.5 though, so I think if they were to just leave her with the 1.5, take off the 2x and the 2.5, that would have been better, but we got a little bit. Beggars can't be choosers here. And then her AR getting a 1.5. I love that change so much. Her AR is already so hard to control, and I have a nice ass 3D weapon skin for that gun, so getting a 1.5 to better help with the recoil control is very nice, and it's gonna steer people off of the LMG, which is what they wanted in the first place. Rooks MP5 getting a 1.5. I don't know why I didn't have it in the first place. He has a 2x, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know why they're doing that, but getting an angled grip is cool. That's one of those weapons where there's not any recoil at all, so it's going to allow for an even more aggressive playstyle on Rook, and maybe some pick rates going up for fraggers in the future. Mute losing his 1.5 on the MP5K just like Wamai did. This breaks my fucking heart. This breaks my heart. I don't like this change, but at the same time, it is a healthy change. Most people aren't going to agree with me just because they like the 1.5, but you got to look at the stats. I mean, you come into Mute looking at 4 Mute Jammers. You have an SMG 11. You're a 2 armor, 2 speed. Right? The Mute Jammers themselves provide so much utility. You have a nitro cell. Just the versatility that all of that brings with a 1.5 on an MP5K already, they had to take something away. You know Rainbow Six Siege. So they took that away. It is what it is. People are going to start running the shotgun. They already do in the first place, so not that big of a deal like it is on Wamai, but it does kind of suck. I'm not going to lie. Now, we have Nomad getting the 2x on the AK, and then the ARX getting a 1.5 like Yana, but getting the 2.5 taken away. I do like this. I kind of hated with my aspect ratio specifically having the 2.5 and not the 1.5 like I would for Yana, and so they did revert that, and I personally am a fan of that. But for people who use the 2.5, that is going to suck a little bit. And then the AK getting the 2x is just good in general. Thatcher's AR-33 gaining the 2x I love, because the only difference between the L85 and the AR-33 for me was that the L85 had the 2x, and I kind of wanted that on the AR-33. Now they added that. But if you still want the L85 with a 1.5, they added that as well along with the angled grip. So now there's a 2x and a 1.5x on both of the guns, and if you want a certain gun over the other but a certain sight on that gun, you now have the option for that. So I think that's really cool. IQ, her AUG is getting a 1.5 and a 2x. I love this. I love this so much. The AUG is not shown enough love, especially on Wamai with none of the base scopes, so it's going to be cool seeing some people play the AUG after a while of not playing it. Dokubi's Boss G is getting the 1.5 and the 2x. I don't know why this wasn't the thing in the first place if they gave it ACOG, but it is what it is. Pretty cool change in my opinion. Now this, I'm so excited for. So they did the same thing with Dokubi's Boss G where they got the 1.5 and the 2x. But they gave Vigils AR a 1.5. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This has got to be the coolest change since like year 6, I think, is giving him the 1.5 on his K1A. Best change. I love it. This is an amazing change. It's going to make fraggers across the world so happy. If he wasn't as fun to play with his AR before, he definitely is now. So I'm super excited about that. And then Jackal, his C7E is getting the 1.5, which is the AR. I use the PDW just because I'm a 1.5 player personally. But now that the C7E has the 1.5 times skin on, it's pretty cool. Also, if you don't know, I am also a content creator for the Astralis channel, which I'll link in the top right. It's a Pro League team. Go check it out. I make operator guides for that channel. But they have a very, very cool Pro League set for Jackal on the C7E, so now I'm definitely going to buy that skin and rock it with a 1.5. Really cool change in my opinion. Looking on to the next balance changes, we have Thermite getting the 1.5 on his AR. Love that change. They did the same thing for Osa. Gotta love it. Finka. Okay, this is where it gets a bit weird. Finka's LMG, losing the 2.5, losing the 2x. I love that. They need to nerf her LMG in any way possible. But I still just use the 1.5, so do most fraggers with her LMG, so it doesn't really matter that much. They just need to nerf the actual mechanic of the gun and not the scopes that come on, in my opinion. The Spear, losing the 2x, but gaining the 1.5. So I don't know why they would take the 2x off necessarily. I think the whole reason that people picked the spear over the LMG was the 2x, and now that it has a 1.5, I kind of think that you're just buffing the LMG at this point, but unless their pick rate on the spear with the 1.5 is greater than the 2x, then I can see, you know, getting the 1.5 on and taking the 2x off. That makes sense to me. Fuse's LMG getting the same nerf that Finka's LMG got, losing the 2x, but not losing the 2.5. I know Fuse's LMG has a 2.5 on it, I'm pretty sure, so I don't know why they didn't just do the same thing for Fuse. I guess they don't want Fuse's pick rate to tank like Finka's is going to after this nerf, so that could really be the only explanation there. Frost's AR gaining the 1.5. Oh my god, I love this. Okay, so they had Frost on the 1.5 when the 1.5 came out. She was way too picked in Pro League in the upper level because of her shotgun and her deployable shield with the versatility that brings. And they had to take one of them away, and they chose the 1.5. But now that they brought it back, Frost is going to be so much more played, and I love that. Frost needs more love, especially in competitive play, so that makes me really happy. But it's also good for ranked players, so people are going to have to get used to looking at Frost mats again. Also adding the vertical grip, amazing. I mean, you have the angled grip on her normally, I think, unless you just don't have a grip, not sure there. But yeah, the vertical grip on Frost, awesome, especially for console people. Her recoil isn't terribly hard to control, but now it's going to be virtually impossible to have any sort of kickback vertically with that recoil. So super exciting stuff there. And then the ACS-12, the shotgun on Alibi, getting the 1.5. Cool. She had the 2x before. Like I said, I'm a 1.5 player. I think most people are, and that's why they're starting to add 1.5s to guns, that they want more people playing. So again, fair change there. So going into the next balance changes, we have Yana. Gone 6, completely gone. Yana was a very mixed package. That's why she was the #1 picked attacker on any flex or entry players in Pro League, as well as in ranked. So they removed her Gone 6. She had 2 frag grenades, a great weapon with a 1.5, a Gone 6, and infinite droning, as well as the ability to burn an infinite amount of Yana gates. So way too much in one operator. They took her Gone 6. I like that change personally. Finka getting her grenades taken off and getting smoke grenades. So I do like this as well, because again, versatility that Finka brought with grenades, a Gone 6, an LMG, and her ability, right? And then adding smoke grenades for a more team player style of Finka instead of playing her in a fragger style, which is what I think she was meant to be played as anyways, as a more flex operator instead of a fragger operator. So I like that personally. Maverick taking his grenades and adding his flashes, I fucking hate that change, but they're trying to revert the grenade meta that Achieved made at the 2 majors ago where TSM won, so I can understand, but why, man? Why? And then Buck getting a Gone 6. I like the Buck getting a Gone 6. They're making it to where Buck is more picked, or as much as picked as Sledge. So I like that personally. Pretty good change. Can't hurt. So that's all for that. And then we have a bunch of operators getting the new EMP grenades. So essentially, they're going to replace a bunch of other secondary utility, and you get 2 EMP grenades. They work like impact grenades, so you throw an impact at a wall and it explodes. Same thing for the EMP grenades, so they work like Thatcher's EMPs. You throw the secondary gadget EMP at a wall and it explodes. So it's just taking the Thatcher meta off and adding secondary utility that does the exact same thing. So kind of like what they did with Hibana with hard reaching chargers, they're doing with Thatcher with EMP grenades. I like the change because there's no real way that you can rework Thatcher that makes sense to where you can't use frag grenades that would do Thatcher's job, but better. So EMP grenades are the solution. And with the new change, Osa, Sledge, and Thatcher are getting EMP grenades. And I think Sledge's EMP grenades are in place of his frag grenades. So that's what I was saying was going to be the Sledge nerf, was not only are his frag grenades getting taken off, but so is his ACOG, and you wouldn't be happy about that. But maybe they're not taking off his frag grenades. Maybe they're taking off his flashes because nobody uses them. So keep your hopes up, people. And then one thing that I forgot to put on here, by the way, I don't know if I can find it, but essentially IQ is getting a 1.5 on her G8. That is fucking awesome. The only thing that I hated about running the G8 on IQ is that it only had hollow sights, and now they're adding a 1.5. So her G8 is already amazing because it's one of the best ARs on attack, or arguably in the game. Love the G8, everybody does, especially on a Maru. So that's just awesome. Adding a 1.5 and adding more scopes to the AUG for IQ as well is going to make IQ be played a lot more, which is what I think they were actually trying to go for here. And that's pretty much it for all of the balance changes. Adding a lot of scopes, giving Vigil a 1.5 is fucking awesome, dude. I'm super excited for that. If you scroll up here, there was actually a leaked animation for Warden's Elite skin. Check this out. Brother slides into a bar, gets the whiskey, puts it in a cup. fucking giga, Chad. Not gonna show the entire thing just because of reasons, but also some leaked skins. If you want to know where I got all of these leaks, by the way, I'll link the Twitter in the description, but for the video's sake, this is the user's account. It's a bunch of Japanese, so as you can see, it's just Siege Channel on Twitter. But with all of that out of the way, that's pretty much it for the video. I'm really excited for these changes to be implemented. If they are, again, everything here is subject to change. Nothing is final. I really hope that Vigil one is, though. But with all of that out of the way, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. If you like the video, like it. Sub to my channel. Sub to the Astralis channel. If you don't know, I make content for them now. Super excited about that, too. And with that out of the way, see you in the next one.